another Rock University training. Thank you guys so much for joining. If you haven't been on one of the trainings, my name is Justin Taylor. I am the Business Development and Training Executive for Rock Title. I cover both Arizona and Nevada. We are growing nationally, which is super exciting. So every single Thursday, we do one of these trainings. You can always go on rockuniversity.com to see what trainings we have coming up. Let's see, next week, we're talking about HomeBot. This is really a lender tool, but I'm telling you, I'm so passionate about this. I'm doing a class on it. I don't care. So we're gonna have a lender on the call as well. That way you guys can partner with them and get the HomeBot. It's free if you partner with a lender. So we'll make sure to be able to provide that for you. But that's gonna be next week. So you can always go there and register. It is by far one of the best seller lead gen tools available right now. And it doesn't cost you anything. It has a great landing page for you to be able to generate leads in that sense of getting their home valuation. What's great about HomeBot is they really talk about building wealth and equity and taking that equity and then going to buy an investment property. So it's kind of a different take on the home valuation forms that we usually see. And they have a 50% engagement rate on their platform, which is astounding. So take advantage of it now. That's going to be next week. But again, you can always see all the different trainings there. I'm going to show you one thing in the VIP All Access, only because we're going to talk about business planning today and listing presentations. So once you go to rockuniversity.com, you click on VIP All Access. You're going to create a sign-in if you have not already. So let me just log into mine real quick. Hopefully I know the password. Nope. Winner. So once you're in here, you're going to scroll down under learning assets. There's a tab here that says listing packets. This is a free Canva template that you can click to move over into your Canva account. You just click use templates, and then it goes through several different pages that you can customize. Do know that all these colors, it's just green because it's Rock Title, it's fun, but you can change these colors to any other brand scheme that you would like. Everything in here is editable. Your scorecard talks about, how you can be different, all the different services you offer. If you don't have a listing presentation yet, physically that you can take with you or show on a digital screen, highly recommend you take the time. We are shifting from a market where you didn't really have to have any skill set to sell a home to now we kind of have to do a little bit of work, right? So it's been fun for the ride that it's been, but we do want to make sure that you guys stand out in your market. And this is one way showing up to your listing appointment and presentation with this in hand. It's great because it's something that you can leave behind at your presentations. Also, do know that if you work with Rock Title, we offer those property profiles. These are great packets that include everything about the home. Deed history, schools, taxes. There's a know before you list, so you know if there's any liens on the home ahead of time. We also include an Altos market report based on that zip code. And with that, something great and physical that you can take to the listing presentation and leave behind. The homeowner's not going to throw it away. It's everything about their house. So it's a great thing to be able to incorporate as we go through today and talk about ways that you can stand out. Again, so that's on the Rock University under the VIP All Access, and it's that listing packet there. Okay, I'm going to go back here, work through all these different tabs. Cool. So I'm going to go ahead and share this. All right, so business planning for changing markets to ensure you reach your 2022 goals. Talked about Rock University. So let's talk about opportunity. There's huge opportunity anytime that there's change, right? And today's going to be more of coaching and strategy and not necessarily a step-by-step training type of environment, but really talking about how we are going to get to that finish line, right? So at the beginning of the year, we all had a goal maybe in mind, as we do every single year, of a certain amount of deals or GCI that we want to produce for the year. And then, of course, during the summertime, we see that little shift happening. And by little, I mean, it happened fairly quickly and pretty big. And now we got to reassess our business plan and strategy to be able to make sure that we still reach our goals. Don't think that just because the market shifted, you have to necessarily readjust your goals. You have to readjust your strategy and your tactic towards getting there, right? Things are still going to close. People are still going to sell a home. There's more opportunity for buyers. You can still get there. You just have to change the way your day-to-day looks like and what strategies you're going to be implementing to make sure that you get there. So where did we start, right? And where are we now? This is where I want you guys to write this down. Again, you can write it on a piece of paper, your notes app in your phone, your computer, wherever you want to, but I want you to follow along with this today because we're going to kind of go through a few different exercises to get some numbers and data for you. So before we get started, I want everyone to write down what their original 2022 goal was. So at the beginning of the year, what was that number? And let's go with transaction. Okay, deals closed. How many transactions did you want to close? Did you want to do one deal a month? So that'd be 12. Did you want to do 2 deals a month? That'd be 24, right? 3, 36, whatever that number is. And just for the sake of engagement, in the chat box, throw in what number that was. I'm just curious. What was the number of transactions you wanted to close this year? And then I'll give you a minute to get all these other people a minute. So Kathy had 12, Jennifer 10, Jocelyn 15. Dylan wanted to do 12 for the year, Lynn 8. Awesome. These are going to be great numbers to be able to work with. Very good. So now that you have that number written down, what have you closed year to date up till today? Okay. What is that number? Jeff 18. Kathy's closed 2. Jocelyn 6. This is great. It's okay. There's still opportunity. Dylan 2. Awesome. You know why this is exciting? Because it's more than 0, right? So you're doing something. You're doing something that's led to a deal that you've been able to close. 13. Perfect. Jennifer 2. Okay, so now what's that balance, right? That's easy math, right? So you're gonna figure out what that balance is, what your goal was minus what you closed is now what. Now we have to figure out what strategy we're going to use or strategies to be able to pick up that balance. So now we know what you still need to close to reach your goal this year. And from here, we can determine the activities and action that you need to take in order to get the finish line, right? The beauty of and you've probably heard this in real estate, is the beauty of real estate is it's really a numbers game. You have to work backwards. You have this big number, and how are you going to get there? You have to now divide that out by all these different tasks and activities that are revenue generating. I'm just checking the chat box. Let's keep going. Nancy, 34 out of 20. Jocelyn, perfect. Okay, so we have to determine the activities and action that you need to take in order to get to the finish line. So we're gonna talk about a couple things with business planning, and then we're gonna go through strategies of how you can get there, a couple of the sure ways of really how you can reach that end goal. Okay, but before we do that, right, we got to talk about a couple of things in the changing market. You have to remain flexible in a changing market. Okay. The key to this changing market is to remain consistent and double down where you've been successful. It's easy to back away when things get tougher, but growth comes from pushing through the noise. So we got to stay focused, right? It's easy to be discouraged by what's happening on the news. When we hear, we keep overhearing the market shifting, it's slowing down, it's, becoming balanced, all this stuff. And we have to kind of block that noise out. We have to be aware of it, but we still have a goal that we have to accomplish. So we have to figure out and stay focused on how we're going to accomplish that. So a shifting market differentiates those who've developed professionally and those who are just pretending, right? The last 2 years, you could sell anything. It doesn't matter what it was. It sold for, throw a price in the air and it's gone, okay? Those days have definitely changed. We've seen that there's been a lot more price adjustments, longer days on market. So this is where that listing presentation and really you understanding your value and being confident in that so that you stand out from everybody else. So the real red hot real estate market made us all look better than we were over the past few years. The market is changing rapidly, and the separation between players who are professionals and pretenders who are amateurs in the game will become more and more evident. Again, I can't stress it enough. You have to stand out. Make sure you have a solid listing presentation. Make sure when you go in, your online presence, everything looks up to par. Over on the right, just some food for thought of things that you guys should be working on. I've said it, listing presentation. If you don't have that yet, get that nailed down. Practice your scripts. Practice your scripts, okay? You can do this by yourself if you want to. Just say them out loud. Hear the words that you're hearing. Does it sound conveying? Does it sound authentic? What message are you conveying to those clients and prospects? You have to have more conversations, and that's going to be the biggest, one of the biggest strategies that we're going to be talking about today is more conversations. More conversations lead to more opportunities, which lead to more deals. All right. Again, it's a numbers game. Online presence. Make sure you're doing an online presence audit. Take the time, set an hour aside, set 2 hours aside. Google yourself. What comes up? What does your Google business page look like? What does your social media platforms look like? What does your Zillow account look like? Do you need more reviews? Do you need fresh, recent reviews? When it's crazy busy, we don't take the time to request those reviews or update those profiles. Is there a better picture that could be there? Could your header image be better, right? What's the bio look like? Are there key stats and data that you can start including into those bios for you to be able to stand out? Your database. One, do you have a database? Let's start with that. Two, is it organized? Do you have correct contact information in there? Email, mailing address, phone number, right? Spend an hour or two auditing your database. Make sure everyone that's in there or everyone that you've closed a deal with is in your database, tagged correctly as a past client. And of course, confidence. That kind of goes back with scripts. And as you go through your listing presentation, the first one on the list, and you have the understanding of what services you offer, right? As you go through that listing packet that I posted on Rock University, take a look at that page where it breaks down the business services, cash offers, what your listings look like. Do you have flexible commissions? Do you have, all that good stuff? Because then you can go into the appointment with confidence, knowing exactly what you offer, exactly what you're going to say, and you look way more confident and appealing to them as opposed to just going in and winging it. I do have a resource for scripts. We had a class with Debbie DeGroat a few weeks ago. I will send that out with the follow-up email with this as well, so that you guys can have those. But she has a whole packet of different scripts and stuff that are great that you guys can use. So I'll definitely include that. All right, so you got to make your business plan work for you. Your business plan shouldn't be complicated or include things you will never do. This is one of the biggest things that I see with agents. They create a business plan because they're told they should, which you should have some type of business plan, but it doesn't have to be overcomplicated. You don't have to go in and have a 50-page business plan to be successful or to be able to execute it. I'm going to show you a couple different examples of business plans today. One, very long, one's 1 page, and then I talk about just using a Word document, okay? So don't overcomplicate it and don't set yourself up for failure by putting things in that business plan you will never do. So make it work for you so you don't wake up each day dreading that day. What areas of your business have given you the most revenue and success? Huge. I'll say that again. What areas of your business have given you the most revenue and success? Is it your sphere of influence, farming, referrals, online leads, door knocking, getting referrals from other markets? So if I go back into this chat box and I see Jocelyn, let's see. So Dylan's closed 2, Jocelyn 6. Where did those leads come from? Jeff had 13. Kathy, right? You had 2. Where did those leads come from? Think about that. You don't have to say anything, but think about that. Sphere of influence. Jocelyn said sphere of influence. Okay. So if that's where your business, if you think about it, if that's where your business is coming from, and that's where you're seeing the most success, double down. Contact your sphere of influence more. Do things, mail them something. Do things that will get you more in front of them. Is it creating a list on Facebook and contacting them that way, staying in front of them that way, right? Jeff said mostly referrals from clients and other agents. So referrals are huge, right? 96% of all transactions are referrals and repeat business. Absolutely double down with that, for sure. My point is take a look, because you ask a lot of agents and they're like, I haven't really thought about where most of my business comes from. Take a look at where that business is coming from. That's where you should focus your strategies. Don't go out and start paying for leads. First, take a look at where your business is coming from and then spend the money there. Where are you putting time that isn't generating revenue, right? So now the opposite. Evaluate the activities you are spending time or money on that are not working. Example would be maybe all your business is coming from sphere of influence, but you're spending a lot of time at open houses and you cannot convert open house leads. For some reason, it just doesn't work. Maybe you need more practice on scripts. Maybe you need just better conversion methods. You need a better follow-up process. But just because people say you can get leads from open houses and you're doing open houses and not working, one, either we got to build skill or we got to double down where your business is coming from. So my point is that time that you're taking to do one thing that's not working or generating business, you should take that time and or money and invest it into where your business is actually coming from and closing. Okay. So things to think about: your expenses, of course, right? Anytime that there's a market shift or anything, quote unquote, I'm going to say the R word, recession. Anytime there's that, right? We got to look at our expenses. Where is our money going? Okay. Because as real estate agents, this is our own business. So we have to make sure that we have some type of profit and loss. What are we tracking everything with? Our expenses going out and our income coming in. Maybe there's some things that we can readjust. Are you paying for an expensive website and your brokerage offers you a website? Maybe you make an adjustment there, because that money can be sent or spent on, prospecting more to where your business is coming from. Your biggest lead source, we've just talked about that. Time blocking. Let's do this in the chat box. So time blocking and prospecting kind of go hand in hand. Who spends at least 1 hour a day prospecting? You delegate time, you delegate an hour a day to prospecting. Kathy does, awesome. I try, yep. It's a whole thing, right? It's almost like medical, it's a practice. It's not a science. Less than an hour, yeah. So I almost empower you to double that. Whatever time you're setting aside, I empower you to double that. Okay. It's all about prospecting right now. Got to create more conversations. Because if we're not as busy as we were, where are we spending our time? Right? We got to make sure it's lead generating, revenue generating tasks. And then mindset, of course, right? It can be easy to be discouraged. Everything that we hear, just things that are happening. Make sure that you're in the right mindset. Whatever you got to do to pump yourself up. Is it listening to certain music? Is it going for a walk in the morning? Is it taking an hour just for yourself to kind of get in that right mode and mindset to be able to then go offer value? Got to be in the right mindset, or else you're going to be talking to people and you're going to get sucked into that kind of negative field. Got to be excited. Who's excited? Right, so we're going to continue, make your business plan work for you. So here we're going to take a look at a couple of different business plans. Again, some people like the super detailed, whoever have had a past life as an engineer, or any kind of field like that, and they love data, looking at stuff. So we're going to look at a couple different business plans. This first one is from Tom Ferry. He always has a great lot of resources here. So several pages, let's see, right? 22 pages, a lot of good stuff, really good stuff in here. But for some, it might be too much. So it goes through. So what's your commitment, right? How are you going to stay accountable? What is your why? And then it breaks it down: vision, mission, values, a lot of different things. This is absolutely a great tool. I think you should at least go through this one time, see if it works for you. I'm going to make sure I'll share all this with this. Yeah, Justin. I'll make sure to share this with everyone for sure. It's going to be a big email this time because there's a lot of attachments, but I'll make sure this goes out to everyone. Right, so your activity and ratios. So percentage of your listing appointments that result in listings taken. This is a great way to really detail and figure out where your business is coming from. Okay, and where you're spending your time. Conversations lead to how many listing appointments, how many buyer consultations. Out of those listing appointments, how many were taken? And then how many did you actually close, right? You are a business, you should be tracking these things. I get it, it's very difficult because there's a lot we have to do as agents, but you should definitely set the time aside to do this, okay? Predicted seasonality goes through units sold per month, per quarter, right? You can adjust based on that. Summer months are typically slower than normal. What's your unique selling proposition? This is what I was saying about that listing packet or presentation that's in Rock University. Edit it to make it unique to you, to your selling proposition. What differentiates you from everyone else? This goes back to that confidence. If you don't truly know all the different unique services that you may offer, how are you going to go into the listing appointment with confidence and be able to win them and stand out from the other agents they're interviewing? Right? In a market where everything's selling just because it's a house, works great. But now we have to actually make sure that we position ourselves to be able to win more. So there's certain things in there like, do you offer virtual staging? Do you offer cleaning the home? Do you offer different options? They can list it with you. There's cash options available. There's several different things you can go through and kind of see what will make you unique. Lead source, all that good stuff. So you can see this one goes very, very in detail. Now, this other one is one page. Let's see if it'll open up here. There we go. A little bit more tactful. Okay, so single page business plan, your name. What's your annual goal? Okay. 3 key focus areas. So maybe one's your online presence, one's lead generating, and another one, right? And then you break that down. What do those look like? And you're gonna write 5 objectives for each. So maybe for the lead generating, you're gonna time block that prospecting. For your online presence, you're gonna time block to make sure that you go through and edit all your profiles and everything's up to date. Those key areas. Lead generating, you're gonna we're gonna talk about an accountability partner. Okay. You go through and break that down. So that's a 1-pager. Yeah, let me share these. Somebody asked if I could just share these links in here. I'm gonna pop this. The first one is the 1-pager, the one that's in the Google Drive. And the second one, I think it's directly from Tom Ferry. Yeah. Second one's gonna be that longer one from Tom Ferry. Again, I will, just so you guys can see these now, but I will go through and email these out as well. Okay, so those are 2 versions, right? You have one extreme to the other, or if you're like me, right? For others, myself included, I need it to be more digestible. I can't get into that mush of having a book of a business plan. It doesn't need to be complicated. Open up a Word document, write out your goals, what activities you need to execute to reach those goals, where you've been most successful and you can commit to doing, then go execute. But keep track. right? We're going to talk about having conversations in a certain number per day. If you don't reach that certain number, guess what? The next day, hold yourself accountable that now you have to make up the difference. So if today, if your daily number is 9 conversations a day, whether that's calling your past clients, sphere, new people, and you only made half of those, that half is now getting dumped into the next day. It's not like it's 9 a day and that's it. It's 9 a day, and if you don't reach that 9, that number then gets pushed into the next day. That's the only way we can stay committed to reach our goals. So put your business plan somewhere where it's visible, so you see it daily. Look at it quickly, remind yourself of your goal and what you need to do to get there. It's simple. We either do the work or we don't. Now that's easier said than done, because I've been in the same boat, right? But we have to hold ourselves accountable. All right, let's see. There it is. So accountability partner. These are great. These are awesome. So I recommend establishing a relationship with an accountability partner, someone that you can meet with often and make sure you both are on track and executing those actions needed to reach your goals. This is a great time and opportunity to do this. So we get tired, we get discouraged, simply just need an outside reminder of our why. Why are we doing this? Why are we in this business? Why do we have that goal? Right? Remotivate us. This could be another agent, a friend, your partner, your broker. You could schedule a strategy session with your Rock Title sales executive. They'd be more than happy to go over your business plan with you. Right? Touch base. Leverage that. Leverage that. Time block so you never miss an accountability session. Right? And use this time to collaborate and practice scripts. So when I send that script out from the packet from Debbie to Grow, take a look at those scripts, establish an accountability partner, and you guys can practice those scripts. Or if you're more comfortable, practice them by yourself, but listen to how you're saying it and what message you're conveying. But I highly, highly recommend in any type of market to have an accountability partner, and really any industry, not just real estate, with anything, even your personal goals, right? Establish that with someone who has similar goals. Makes it more fun, makes it more attainable. Does anybody currently have an accountability partner? Does anybody use this strategy? Holly does. Awesome. It helps, right? Small group of 4 people. It doesn't even have to be one. Yes, that's awesome. I think we've overused the word mastermind, but it could be some type of group like that. You guys get together consistently and share what's working, share what's not working, go over your goals. I think it's awesome. Okay, so you've heard me talking about more conversations. So more conversations lead to growth, right? So again, I'm using Tom Ferry. He has a lot of years of experience with a lot of great content that works. So, and I've talked about this before. So we're going to take a look at his method and research for conversations. Again, I'd like you all to follow along and write your own calculations down. And using that number, your goal of what you wanted to close this year to what you've already closed. And then we're going to use your balance number. Okay. So what you have left to close this year. So research shows that the average real estate sales professional requires 50 conversations to close one deal. Does that already terrify you? 50 conversations to close one deal. But if we know what the average is, and we know what that number is to lead to a deal, it almost makes it easier for us to be able to do what we need to do to get there. So we're going to multiply the number of transactions, your balance that you still need to close by 50. Okay. So I'm going to do this next screen here. So originally in the exercise, it was 36, but we're more than halfway through the year now. So I took it down to 18, but use your number. Okay. Use your balance number. And you can see here. So if we did 18 times 50 conversations, that's 900 conversations left this year. Does that seem like a lot? We got some work to do. 900 conversations. So you need 900 conversations to achieve that goal based on your number, right? So let's see, let's go through here. And find, so Dylan wanted to do 12, he's got 2, he's close to this number, so 10. So 10 times 50, he's got 500 conversations left, right? So you guys can find your number. So we've got our 900 here in this example. You need to spread them out throughout the year, right? So we're gonna have to, we have 5 months. I calculated 5 months left. It's probably honestly a little bit less, but we're gonna go with 5 months. So if I divide that 900 by 5, I'm at 180 conversations a month. Okay, and we're just gonna keep breaking it down. We're gonna divide that by 20 days because, you know, we may feel like we work 30 days every single day of the month, but we do have to allow time for us to be able to take that break, that personal time. So divide that 180 divided by 20 or whatever your number is. So you're gonna divide that by 20. So that leads us to that 9.
Hey, Justin,
Yep.
I
So
have a question.
Yeah.
Sorry. So in the conversations, would something like, you know, messages or emails or contacting your database through like sending the newsletters, stuff like that, does that count as a conversation?
If there is a return conversation, yes. So if I send an email out and I hear nothing, we're not going to consider that as a conversation. It's an actual conversation. So if you text someone and you guys are talking real estate and it's going back and forth, that's absolutely a conversation. If you never hear from them, then no. Good question. Okay. Yes.
That's more doable then.
Yeah.
Thank
yeah,
you.
Absolutely. Yeah, of course. So Jocelyn has to have 9 conversations per day, 5 days a week. Yep, just like this example there. Conversations don't necessarily just have to be on the phone during this period of time, and given the you know, we're almost more than halfway through the year, I would pick up the phone and get most of these conversations through that. But text can be conversation. Having a conversation on a Facebook chat, direct message. If there's conversation, if it's pinning back and forth, that's a true conversation. So we have 9 conversations every workday that can lead you to your goal. And just like I said earlier, if you miss a day, that next workday is 18. It's gonna be an exhausting day, right? Because it's exhausting talking to people and having conversations about the market and things like that. That's why you have to always make sure daily that your mindset is right. You take time for yourself to be able to kind of get in that correct mode of being able to convey a message that makes sense, has a good vibe. Did everybody, who else did this calculation? What other numbers we got? Just Jocelyn said they got 9 per day, 5 days a week. Who else? Dylan needs 6 conversations a day. Awesome. Manageable. When we think about it, this is definitely doable, right, guys? These conversations. This is taking that time. Again, this is in that time blocking of prospecting. Okay. We just have to make sure that the time that we're blocking for those prospecting hours, that it's going towards these conversations. Linda too, awesome, good deal. Again, I'll include this in the email so you guys can play around with this as well. Another strategy to get you there, CMA a day. I posted about this before. CMA a day strategy. Everyone knows what a CMA is, right? Comparable market analysis. There's several different platforms and ways that you can use this. RPR is included in NAR. You can always use that as a CMA if you wanted to. You can make your own. You can use through Monsoon or tax records. There's comps that way you can use. However you want to assemble your CMA, you can always do that. But if you invest just a few minutes every single day in the CMA day process, statistics show that you'll land a listing appointment about every 16 tries. So every 16 CMAs that you provide, you will land a listing appointment. Every CMA, right? 16 leads to a listing appointment. VCMAs get more engagement. We're going to talk about this more in a moment. I agree. That's great odds. Justin said that's good odds. So think about it. If every, and this is real statistical data. So if every 16 CMAs that you deliver, you will land a listing appointment, it's more encouraging. That's what I'm going to do. Every day, I'm going to do this. And I know, give or take a few, right? Statistically, 16, I'll land a listing appointment. Ideally, plan to send one a day, but if you can send 2 or 3 each day, you're likely to get really busy really fast. Again, it's a numbers game. This is a value-driven proposition that never once tries to sell anything to the homeowner, but rather seeks to provide information and expertise. If you follow this strategy and send at least one CMA a day, your business will grow quickly and you'll remain relevant to all the people in your database. Think about it. You're providing an astounding amount of value to these homeowners. You're giving them comps, you're providing them a full CMA so they can see what the best outcome would be for them. Yeah, so Jocelyn asked, just send CMA to sphere of influence and past clients? Absolutely. Yep. So who do I send these to? Anyone you know who owns a home. Sphere of influence, past clients, maybe neighbors from open houses. If you're doing open houses and you meet somebody and they're like, oh yeah, I live a couple of houses down. I just wanted to come and take a look at that. Do you follow up with those? Do you have a CMA delivered to them or dropped off to them within 24 hours? Think about that process. Going back to what I was saying, if you're not getting leads from open houses, something is happening with that process that we got to look at, whether it's scripting. It's all skill-based. It's things that we can improve on and accomplish. So maybe it's a neighbor from an open house that you're getting CMA to. Possibly a farm. You're walking your farm and you have a conversation. Now, obviously the weather bars that if you're actually doing that, and you have a conversation with someone and they own a home, are you delivering them a CMA? Yep. So Dylan asked, what if we don't have a big sphere of influence or many past clients? That's okay. That's okay. You still should, anybody that you know that owns a home, you should still get one to them. There's other ways that you can do that. And we're going to talk about the video CMA as well, which Dylan might be a great opportunity for you. Okay, because there's ways that you can take a subdivision or maybe where you live and obtain the email addresses for all of those homeowners. And now you're sending them a digital video version of a CMA to them. Same concept, but now you're thinking outside the box of expanding your network of people. So Jocelyn already said, but can you commit to sending at least one CMA a day? Is that doable? One CMA a day. Think about it. Push that into your time blocking for your prospecting time. You're able to get those. So Rock Title works with a vendor that can get you the email addresses and phone numbers based on a geographic location. So reach out to your Rock Title sales executive if you guys want to obtain those email addresses. The cost is fairly inexpensive. We're talking pennies on that. So depending on how big of an area you want to get, we can always do that there. But Dylan, I think that would be a great opportunity for you. And there's always opportunity to sit down and really go through your phone, social media platforms, to really see who your sphere of influence is. Anyone that you talk to, let them know, hey, I'm gonna add you to my database. I just wanna keep you up on what the crazy that's happening in the market. I'm gonna send you some information, right? We're always trying to build that database. But this would be a great way that you guys can kind of expand that network by sending the video CMAs, which we're gonna talk about here in a second. Whoops. So VCMAs, has anybody heard of these yet? Language, VCMAs, video CMAs. Linda got it. It's 6 cents per email. Yep. So 6 cents per email. Karen, reach out to your Rock Title sales executive. If you don't know who that is, reach out to me, Justin at Rock. Let me throw this in chat box. Justin at rocktitle.com. If you don't know who your sales executive, I will connect you with them, and then they will be able to get that information for you. So video CMAs are an amazing way to provide value to your clients and prospects in a way that nobody else is doing. Does everybody know why these are rare, video CMAs? Because we all hate doing video, right? So we got to kind of get over that. But this is a way that maybe you don't necessarily have to be on camera. You're just going to record your screen. Send to everyone you know who owns a home. You can post general video CMAs to your social platforms for cities and counties, right? So maybe you're recording your screen and you're making a video for your social media or your email blasts, and you're talking about Maricopa County if you're in Arizona, or you're talking about a specific city, right? Another way to kind of be broad and capture more attention, but also you should be doing these personally for everyone you know that owns a home. Okay, you're gonna record your screen as you talk about all the details. And so what should you have on your screen? One is Google Earth map of the exact address, right? When you send someone a video, and in the first introduction, it's the Google map of where they live or their home or their property, they're gonna pay attention, they're curious, they wanna know more information, and then it makes it more personable, right? It's address specific. You're gonna have the MLS pulled up with all the active, pending, sold of the properties in the area. You're gonna have a CMA or more detailed and more pretty list of comps you can get from RPR, et cetera, right? A little bit more an actual CMA, just not the active, pending, sold properties in the area. You're gonna talk about the active properties. Here's what's on the market currently, but also here's what's closed, and here's a CMA of what that looks like. And finally, you're gonna have an estimated net sheet ready and filled out. Remember, it's estimated, but great to show a net number. Isn't it amazing that if you have a net sheet pulled up towards the end of this video CMA, and you're talking about here's where you could list, estimated list, right, sold, here's what estimated closing costs would be, and here's what your estimated net would be, right? They want to see that number. Okay, especially people still have a lot of equity in their home, a lot of equity. Still a great opportunity to do these. You can go to rocktitle.com. I'll show you guys that right now for a seller net sheet. If I can close out of this. There we go. Rocktitle.com. Free seller net sheet. There's also buyer cost sheets on here as well. Once you go to rocktitle.com, you're just going to click on that instant quote button up in the upper right corner. You can get a quote now, no sign in. And you start that estimate there. You just fill out the information. You can save it as a PDF so you can show it there, or you can literally just walk through it with them on here as well, right? loan estimate, title quote. But if you sign in, you're going to get that seller net sheet there as well. So you can sign up for free, and then you can get that seller net sheet and then share it that way. You can always send it if you wanted to. But if you're doing your video CMA, you could do it live on the screen or have it already done and show them that PDF. Okay. Now, how are you going to record? Right. So there's services like BombBomb, but we're talking about expenses. It's like $49 a month. So if you don't want to do that, Zoom is free. Snippet recording, if you have Windows, QuickTime Player, if you have Mac, you can record your screen that way. And this is great content here. Let me see if I can copy this link for you guys. I'll include this in the email, but I'll go ahead and give it to you guys so you can watch it right after. So this is Jimmy Burgess, possibly very successful, goes through this entire process of a video CMA from start to finish. The verbiage he uses, how he records it, exact same tabs that I just told you to have open, goes through that entire process. So you can physically see somebody in what it looks like as a consumer. So then you can just rinse and repeat, copy what works and use it. So who's open to committing to a video CMA? You could do the traditional way. You could do video CMA. You could do both. Get comfortable with it. You know what I recommend? If you currently own a home, do it for your own home. Go through it first on yourself. Right? Work out the kinks first. Practice. It's all in that scripting. What's that process look like? So video, right? Everyone's tired of me saying the word video. So it is equivalent to location. Think about that, right? We tell our clients location. And really what video is, attention. Where do consumers love to consume their content and how do they like to consume it? It's the location of consumer attention. That's why it's so important. Okay. I know that those agents who invest their time and implement video into their business are going to thrive and close more deals. It's just going to happen. And this is the time to stand out, provide education, tips, and to showcase how your expertise can get your prospects the best outcome. Convey that message. Something else I'm going to include in the follow-up email is this list here. This is, I believe this is from Tom Ferry too. It's very Tom Ferry kind of day. So this here is a social media simplified pages, 30-day Instagram story game plan, all this other stuff on here, which is super awesome. How often you should be posting on social media. But what I want you to take from this is 50 video ideas you should shoot. Okay, so there's an intro video, meet your local real estate professional. What does 300,000 buy in your market? Not very much currently still. What is 600,000 buy perhaps? $1 million buy? Right? People like to look at luxury. X amount of things I've learned in X years in real estate, the funniest story of my real estate career, the most embarrassing moment in my real estate career. People want to consume this. How to prepare to sell your home in Phoenix, Vegas, market update, pros and cons of buying versus renting, 3 things you should know before moving to Arizona, Nevada, whichever it is. Top 5 outdoor activities. So I'll make sure to include this. I'll throw the link in there as well. But I'll make sure to include all these, of course, in that email. So these are just some ideas there's unlimited ideas for you to be able to start doing video. Just start. They don't have to be super long. These are awesome for TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels. Absolutely. Okay. Even out in the last page here, 8 ways to turn likes into commissions, right? Get your followers into action. Just some good practices that you guys can do. So I'll make sure to include that as well. right? We got to be this green little rock star in a whole field of a lot of agents. Who's going to stand out? All right, I think we got a couple more here. So here's the opportunity to thrive. Couple last points here to leave you guys on. So change always creates opportunity. In every business cycle, there are people who gain market share and people who lose market share. Do we remember when the pandemic hit and how much wealth moved to Amazon? Wealth just moved instantly. People gain market share and people lose market share. Which will be you? Call all your past clients and everyone you know in the next 2 weeks. Okay? Ask them, do you know anybody that is thinking about selling? Can I share an update with them? Prospecting deals is your absolute priority right now. And add everyone you know to a platform like HomeBot. If you haven't used HomeBot yet, it is free through your lender partner. If your lender partner does not offer HomeBot, let me know and I will get you in contact with one that does. It is an amazing seller tool, like I was saying earlier. But everyone you know to a platform like that, in addition to if you're going to go buy emails to a specific area of homeowners, throw that list in there as well. They send them an update on their home equity and how they can build wealth every single month, all branded to you. Okay, HomeBot also offers that it's a link for a property valuation style tool. They enter their address, it gives them their quote of how much equity they'd have. They can toggle back and forth certain features, and then it lets them know how they can take that equity and go buy maybe an investment property or talk about retirement. They really talk a lot about wealth building. 93% of all millionaires in the world became that way through real estate. So HomeBot, real estate still the #1 way. HomeBot kind of conveys that message. Send video CMAs to everyone you know that owns a home. Use a CMA a day strategy. Okay. And going back to open houses. Again, this is, I put this in here because obviously inventory is sitting a little bit longer, so there's more opportunity. This is a way to have more conversations, right? So maybe it's not just picking up the phone and calling or sending a text or an email or whatever it is. Maybe it's in person at an open house. You're door knocking before a few of the neighbors. Doesn't have to be a whole thing, right? 'Cause I know both in Arizona and Nevada, it's very hot here still. Our weather's been crazy. But it's another opportunity for you to be in front of people and be talking to neighbors and actual homeowners. Easy conversations. Be prepared to meet both buyers and neighbors who own. If you're willing, do some door knocking, of course, invite them over and provide them with a market report for the zip code they are in. Altos Market Reports, sponsored by Rock Title. Okay. Easy things for you guys to be able to get. And of course, I want to make it a goal for you guys to add 10 new people to your database every week. Okay, 10 new people to your database every week. It's game time. It is showtime. The lights are on. We've got 5 months left of the year. I want every single one of you to be able to get to that, whatever your balance number is. At the end of the year, I want you guys to email me and say, I made it. I made it to that balance. And then calculate how many conversations you will need to reach your goals. If you didn't do that on today's training class, you can always calculate that number, see how many conversations you need to have, and then start working backwards on that. Think about where you're going to have those conversations and start executing. Again, change always creates opportunity. Change always creates opportunity. Any questions on today? Feedback? Was it helpful? I know it wasn't like a walkthrough training and things like that. I wanted to be more of a coaching session and give you guys some ideas of how, you know, as I'm talking to agents, there's a lot of discouragement and just like, I don't know how I'm going to make it there. And I just really wanted today to be about giving you guys some ideas and ways that you can go and still reach those goals this year. It's still possible in any type of market, still possible.
Hey Justin, since I'm
Yeah.
newer, I love all the ideas for like videos and stuff like that, but do you have a place where I can get more content, like more meat that I'm giving value to people?
Yeah, in terms of like what's like data and stuff you're giving them or just what you're talking about. Yeah, I'll send you know what I'll do is I'll include a couple agents who have kind of mastered that in video of what message they're conveying. I'll include those in the follow-up email. So then you guys can watch what they're doing and again, rinse and repeat. You can just kind of take what that is, what that message is, and make it your own. And then that way you can kind of see how somebody else is doing. I'm very visual. I have to see, I think they call it kinesthetic or whatever, learning. But I have to physically do it, see somebody do it, and then I can do it myself. So I'll definitely include those. Thank you, Lynn. Thank you, guys. Anything else? Who's going to do a video CMA? Everyone is, right? Awesome, guys. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions, please let me know. Go to rockuniversity.com, take a look at that listing packet, kind of make it your own. You can change the colors, all that good stuff. Any questions, reach out to me, and we will see you next week to talk about HomeBots. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Yes, Karen, if you registered, you will get the email for sure. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Have an awesome weekend. We'll see you next time.